Do you know, one of the highlights of my week this week has come from this site. You can't see it. Oh, maybe you can there. Nice picture of Jen's. Anyway, that picture belongs to an article. In fact, it belongs to an article that I wrote. I wrote it quite a while ago, and I did release it in my blog and on the forums. But I was so impressed with it. It's called Too Much Jutsu, Not Enough Do. That I decided I would offer it to a site called MMAHitPit.com. I heard this site, in fact, through another patron on the forum called John Lyon, and he told me of this site that. And I sort of inquired about it, and this was an article I'd already pre-written, so I sort of sent it to them, and they thought it was good enough to go on the site. So they put it on the site, 16th of July 2008 at 6:50 in the morning. In fact, it felt like in the evening to me, so perhaps that's wrong. Anyway, so I'm quite pleased with that. I'm actually now published on a website other than a forum. I do have plans to write for them again. I am going to do a review of Jens Pulver's first and second books, and I'm also going to do a review for them on the Cage Gladiator event. I do have permission of Emil Coleman, who is the co-owner of Cage Gladiators, who has invited me to the event next week. So that's what I've got next week. So it's been quite an exciting time. I know this isn't very much to look well. It's Jens Pulver, but it's I can't really make out what I've no idea if you can see any of that. But that's my article there. I should put you up here whilst I finish my conversation with you. But anyway, not a lot else to say in my blog, I'm afraid. Nothing spectacular has happened in my life. Nothing spectacular has happened on the forum. We've, of course, just recovering from the Affliction and UFN events that happened both last night. I've spoken about them enough on my recaps, I think, really. The only thing I can say is that Andreas, you'll remember the patron Hughes Goat, turned up on the forum this morning trying to hark back to a spat he had on the open forums with Matt Pena about 3 years ago, not long after the schism of 59, in fact. His spat was about Tim Sylvia and his match with Andrei Arlovsky, which he won, and Goat was in the difficult position of trying to backpedal because he'd said that could never happen. And the two of them sort of came together, really. And he made this throwaway line, and I mean, it's one comment that says something like, you know, Tim wouldn't be able to hang with, and there's a list of fighters, one of which, of course, is Fedor. And Matt Pena doesn't really make much of a reply. He certainly doesn't predict any outcome. Anyway, the match between Fedor and Tim Sylvia, of course, happened. Tim Sylvia didn't win, and so Hughes Goat thought he would just turn up and, you know, rub it in for old time's sake. I mean, for goodness sake, I thought I was like some sort of control freak, but that really is, do you know what I mean? Talk about dredging up past histories, particularly when it serves him no good, and just makes him look like a fool all over again. So I did say that, and I do believe I owned him, once again. So I think that's all I've got, really, all I've got. But of course next week the blog will be coming from Liverpool again, which is fantastic, isn't it? So yes, there we are.